When you get into God's state, your SP comes crawling back to you. When you step into your God state, money feels like water. You fart and you make $1 million, okay? You cough and your SP worships it, okay? God's state is this: understanding that you are an eternal being living in a human experience, and realizing that because you are actually separate from the human avatar, you can go in and out whenever you please. When you don't like what you see in the human avatar, aka the 3D, then just back away and be like, oh, okay, that's not me. But the moment you see something, oh, okay, so I got complimented today. I got a little boost. I got a little raise. You know, it was a great day. You say, oh yeah, that's me. Why does it work like that? Because if you are awareness and you noticed in the past that whenever you would think of something negative, it had to be reflected. Guys, if you've been watching, if you've been in this community even for just a few days, you already know that that's the reality. If you know that you've manifested your negative stuff perfectly, then you know that whatever you put your awareness on must be, and you will become. Why? Because if you're awareness, you are everything that you put your awareness on. So the easiest way to understand this reality is through separation and having the power to back off. So how do you get the power to back off? I want you to imagine it like this. Everything you see, like right now, if you don't have YouTube Premium, you're probably watching this on your phone, okay? Imagine the screen in front of you. Or not imagine, rather. You see the screen in front of you, right? You see your room around you, you know, or if you're in an office, whatever. And then you have your thoughts, you have your emotions, right? And then you have the perceived future and the perceived past. And then you have just conscious awareness, right? I want you to imagine all of these pieces of your senses becoming one cohesive, flat pancake. Everything. The emotions, the thoughts, the perceived past, the perceived future. I want you to imagine like if they all were physical elements and you crumbled them into a ball and then you flatten them into a pancake, right? And it's more thinner than a penny, okay? Whatever it is that is observing that pancake is who you are, okay? When you can look at the phone in front of you and notice that, no, you're not just looking at the phone, you are looking at everything. You're looking at your, you know, the thing behind the phone. You are looking at your thoughts. You are looking at the perceived past, the perceived future, and your understanding and knowledge and your consciousness. That's what you're doing. When you can see everything as one, then you understand the matrix. Then you understand what we all mean when everyone is you pushed out. Because it's a projector, okay? Whatever you select, whether it's in the physical realm or whether it's internal, when you are noticing that your partner added somebody on Instagram and it's like, oh, what does that mean? What if they cheat on me? Your subconscious doesn't know what ifs, it knows what is. And when you say that, you put that into your awareness, because everything is one, you added that to the pancake. And now it must be. So now you have this whole pancake, right? And maybe I might have to do another example because I don't want you guys to get hungry now, but yeah, I mean, come on, guys. I mean, you can still be cooking while you're seeing this, but either ways, you add it to the pancake, right? When next time you see your SP and they're ignoring you, that's just one part of the pancake. But when you go internally and say, no, actually, that is just a separate reality, a separate universe, I'm in the reality where she's always blowing up my phone, so much so that T-Mobile had to send me to Metro PCS because they have no more space for the messages that she sends me. We have been married for, I can't even remember our anniversary. We're on the rocking chair watching our grandchildren play with the iPhone 70, right? You see, in the 3D, she's ignoring you. She's smacking her gum like if you don't even exist. He is not answering your text. He doesn't even look at you when you pass the hallway, right? But if you change the story, because everything is one, right? And you simply, from your conscious awareness, decide that, yeah, that's a part of the pancake, but instead of saying it's not there, you accept that it's there, but it's a separate universe, then both realities are true. Why? Because you were admitting that there is parallel realities to you and that you're not going to judge, right? You're not going to hold judgment toward that reality. You're going to let it be what it is. You're going to allow the version of John, the version of Sally to exist that is not choosing you. And that's okay, because there's another reality that exists where they are. You see, that is how you get the undefeated mindset and how God state manifests your SP. By realizing that both realities can coexist. And someone's like, okay, but so now I just have to live internally like a schizophrenic? No, my friends. You see, reality in the 3D can shift right away, but it all has to happen naturally. Okay? It has to evaporate because, you know, the earth is not just going to move in this 3D just because you're horny. Just because, oh, I want my SP, I want it right now. Because you are also manifesting other things too. Right? You're manifesting, when you look at a carrot, okay, well, now you have to go to the reality where you're going to see a carrot. Okay? You're thinking about the damn Beatles. Okay? And fuck, now they're like, oh, we got to send him to the elevator so he can hear Yellow Submarine, right? Everything is going, it's downloading, okay? Let it be. Let it happen in specific time, okay? Because if everything was so easy as I just have an affirmation or something, and then no matter what's in front of me, it'll just be erased instantly, then I could just think of a dragon and then all you guys are fucked on Highway 84, okay? Yeah, fuck you, right? No, that's not the way it works, guys. And you guys know that, okay? But are you going to understand that all you have to do is be internally and it will show out here? Because remember, the pancake. It's not, the 3D is not everything. The 3D is literally the visuals that you're seeing with the eyes of the physical body. But you are not just the body. Right? You are everything. The internal, the perceived past. And by the way, another thing that helps in God's state is when from your awareness, you choose a different past. You want to talk about separate universes? If you keep reliving your past where you don't have your SP, where the breakup happened, or where you always had failures in your relationships, or with money, money was always hard to come by. If you keep telling yourself that story from the God state, instead of choosing a new past because the past doesn't even exist anymore because it's not there in the 3D, right? You will continue to put that in the pancake, and therefore it's the same thing like robotically affirming, I never get love. I am the most, you know, I'm the most hated person in the universe. I'm the ugliest. I'm the ugly duckling. That's the same way. It's the same thing as doing that. Why? Because everything is one awareness. Okay? So I would revise from the God state, because the past doesn't exist, because it's not there in the 3D, right? I would just tell yourself, even if it's a lie, that you've never been broken up. You don't even know what failure feels like. Whenever you see the word failure in the dictionary, you thought that you were high on LSD because you've never even seen a word spelled like that. It's like, what is that? Rejection? I'm sorry, I don't speak Russian. What is that? All I know is success. All I know is I'm the prize, right? You see, guys, this is the undefeated mindset. With God, nothing's impossible. All things are possible. Even when you have a restraining order, even when your SP is married. I just heard a SP marriage success story the other day. Why? Because the guy stayed in his end. He knew that both realities can coexist. There could be the 3D reality that's showing that his SP wants nothing to do with him and she's married to somebody else. But then there's the other reality up here, because everything is one, because everything is part of the same pancake. When you crumble it up into a ball and flatten it, and it's paper thin, everything is one. So the 3D can have its own thing going on, but you have the internal, and knowing that the 3D was actually a reflection of the internal from the past 25 years of your life, the past 30 years of your life, the past 40 years of your life. Let's get the senior citizen discount coming now. When you notice that the 3D is the past reflection, then you realize, oh shit, well then what the fuck am I waiting for? Let me just start the Amazon order up here, right? Both realities can coexist. Allow it to unfold. Don't be so in a rush, and don't be aware of waiting, because the moment that you check the 3D, it's the same thing like robotically affirming that you don't have your SP, that your SP hates you and that they think you're the ugliest sack of shit in the universe. Okay? Now, I know this is a lot to take in, so I plan on trying to make these fundamentals more simpler for you. So if there's a certain angle that you think I should explain it better, let me know in the comments. But guys, honestly, if you really want true help with this, let me help you. The links are in the description. I would love to work with you. And join the membership for exclusive videos that you'll never see on the public side, exclusive shorts, and also up to 2 months advance of videos that you won't see until later on. And also, it's the only location where you will see 20+ minute long success stories of my personal clients. I'm Neil Lartos. I love you guys, and stay tuned.